Alright guys, welcome back to another DayZ tutorial. So for those of you that are watching this video and run a DayZ server, most of you will probably run in a mod called Breach and Charge. If not, you have at least heard of it. Well, there's a new mod called More Explosives. I say new, it's been out since January, as you can see in the background here, early January. It's created by the same guy that made Breach and Charge, but essentially this mod is a better version of Breach and Charge. To put it simply, it's just an all-round better version of Breach and Charge. Now, you can use this mod with Breach and Charge, or you can use it without Breach and Charge. Just keep in mind that if you are running Breach and Charge and you want to just use this mod and get rid of Breach and Charge, you're probably best doing it on a server mod. Just because the class names for these items are different. So if you remove Breach and Charge, players are probably going to lose all their Breach and Charge items. But I want to show you, it's not just as simple as installing the mod like you would do with any other mod, and then just going to your profiles folder and adjusting some settings. You actually need to have your own mod pack and create a config, which you will pack into a PBA, and that's how you adjust stuff with this mod. So I'm going to show you the process of doing that and getting a mod for your server up and running and get this working. It's really simple. Now, in this video, I'm not going to show you the video on how to create a mod folder, and I'm not going to show you how to get the software so you can pack it into a PBA, because I've already done those tutorials. So what I'm going to do, in the description box, there's going to be a first link that will, if you go to it, it will show you how to basically, the process of creating a mod folder and everything you need to do to get ready and get a mod folder up and ready. The second link I'll put in will be a link to a video how to install a software called PBA Project by Makira Tools. So if you don't already have a mod folder, and you don't already have Makira Tools, I would suggest now go and watch them two videos. They're not that long. Go and watch them videos, get your mod folder and everything all set up. Go and get PBA Project and already all set up, and then come back and watch this video. Right. So, now I'm going to carry on. So, presuming you've got a mod folder, you've got PBA Project. Now, I do want to clarify, you don't have to use PBA Project. You can use Add-on Builder, which is built in with DayZ Tools. But myself, I've had issues with that. I've never had it to work. So, for you to follow along with this video, because I will be using PBA Project, or I will be showing you what to do with PBA Project. It's easier if you go download the PBA Project by Makira Tools and you can follow along. And to be fair, I think it's all-round better software, and a lot of other people I spoke to, it's an all-round better software. I think if you have any errors in your config file, it tells you where them errors are. It's more precise from what I gather from other people. But anyway, let's just carry on with the video. So I'm now going to continue as if you've already got a mod folder set up and you've already got Makira Tool, PBA Project by Makira Tool set up. What we're going to need to do is you're going to need to go to your P drive. And you'll know about this because this is all in the first link in the video. This is all the process of what you would have watched in the first link to get your mod folder set up. So I've already launched DayZ Tools and make sure my P drive is mounted. So I'm going to go into my P drive and I'm going to go into my project folder for me, which is Lift5. Yours will be whatever you've called it. So just try and follow along, but the names will be different. So go into your project folder that you would have created from the first link in the video, and go ahead and open it up. Now I've already got stuff in here because I've already done this and I've already got other configs. For you, yours will probably be empty if this is your first time having a mod folder. What you're going to want to do is you want to create another folder in here, and I'm going to call these as like subfolders. So if you hear me say subfolder, I'm talking about the folder that you would create in your project folder. Right. Now, and of course, the project folder is your main folder that you would created from the first link. So you got your mod pack folder and what I call as a project folder. And then you got your subfolders inside your project folder. So go ahead and create a folder. Now, again, I've already done it. I've called mine Much Explosives. It should have really been called More Explosives because that's what the mod is called. For some reason, I just called it Much Explosives. But it doesn't matter what you call the folder. Name the folder to whatever you like, as long as you know the config inside the folder what it's for, basically. So if you need to make any edits later on, you know where you've got to come to make the edits. Right, inside that folder that you would have just created, so your subfolder, you want to create a config.cpp file. So the best way to do that, or easiest way, is right click, go to new, and create a new text document. Rename that text document as config.cpp, making sure the file type is a CPP file, not a TXT file. Right, ignore the scripts folder. So I'll quickly just mention it. In my mod folder, I've got a script running, which basically I can set a distance when a player places an explosive onto a base object, being such, say, a door or a gate, or even a wall if you allow wall raiding. I make it so a player doesn't have to stand so close. By default, you stand pretty close. If you try and stand too far back, it won't allow you to place the explosive on the wall or door or gate, whatever it may be. You have to stand pretty close. So I've got it where I've allowed the player to stand not super far back, but a good distance back where it makes it feel like you're not actually kissing the wall. If you want that, now I'm not going to include the config for that or to show you what to do with this scripts file. If you want that, come and speak to me, message me in Discord privately, and I can go through that with you. But that is not needed to actually make the mod work, or get all the more explosive stuff working on your server. You'll still be able to raid nevertheless without it. It just means your players are going to be, quite close. So again, it's going to be something you're going to test. And if you don't like it, that you have to stand super close, we can adjust it and then just come and speak to me in Discord. Right. But go ahead and make sure you create a config.cpp file like I've done there. If you go ahead and open that up, now I've got stuff in mind, and I've got stuff in mind as well for that script file. Yours will be empty. Now I'm going to provide another link. It'll be a pastebin link, so it'll be the third link in the description box where you can go ahead and copy a config file. Now the config file it'll have everything in it bar this little bit that I've highlighted, and this is related to my script stuff I got. So when you see this now in my config file, just ignore this. Yours will start from this top bit that I've highlighted, and then it'll continue from this bit I've highlighted, and it'll continue down. But if you go to the third link, you'll get a pastebin link. If I quickly bring my internet actually over it from my other monitor and show you the link, right, you'll go to a link like this. It'll take you directly to this. All you need to do is if you click raw at the top here, it'll take you to the raw file of it, and you can pretty much just right click. If you you should be able to click and drag, so you highlight it all. Alternatively, what I like to do is I press Control and A, so it highlights it all, and then I press Control and C, and it'll copy it all. But if you want to, you can just click and drag to highlight it all, right click and select copy. Once you've copied it, you need to go back to that config.cpp file that you've created, and you need to paste it in to this file. Once you've pasted it in, you're pretty much ready to go. There'll just be maybe one or two things that you've got to set up. I'll go through some of the configs as well in a second with you. Now, I want to just make sure you're aware of, for my config on my server, I only allow raiding via doors and gates. I don't allow raiding via walls, floors, and roofs. So it's like by normal entrances, doors and gates. If you want to allow raiding via like all base parts, walls, roofs, floors, anything that is not a door or gate, I mean, this will include a door and a gate too, but if you want to allow raiding via everything, what you're going to need to do in your config file is on this line here that I've highlighted, remove, so delete the underscore doors. So where you see I'm deleting, so you'll have bpp underscore vanilla underscore dmg. So make it like that. If you want to only allow raiding via doors and gates like I do, keep this line the same. Now, we're going to need to get a PBA for this as well in a second, but I'll go through that in a little bit. I just want to go through the config with you. So I just want to make sure you're clear before we go any further. If you want to only allow raiding via doors and gates, keep this line the same. If you want to do it from everything, like a vanilla type raiding, just remove or delete the underscore doors part there that I've highlighted. Right, so with that sorted, let's just scroll down past this bit. Right, so I've got as well, so you want to change these, and it's either as a 0 or a 1. 1 is active, 0 is not active. So door raid only enabled. Mine's 1. I only allow raiding via doors. When the thing gets destroyed, it deletes the lock. So if there's any locks on there, again, if you don't want that, you can put it to 0. Raid only with MOE, so it's more explosives. If you've got another raid mod installed, you will probably want to put that to 0. But I've only got more explosive raid on my server, and that's the only thing I can raid with. So for me, that's enabled. Raid schedule is disabled. I don't use raid scheduling. You can set that up if you want to. I'm not 100% sure on setting this up. I mean, you can pretty much probably copy this a little bit and add, your days and stuff in and times. But again, I'm not 100% on that. I'll try and figure that out, and I can do a separate tutorial on that if people need. Alternatively, if you join the Discord, if I remember, I'll try and put the link into the Ansem Nipples Discord, so the Breach and Charge / More Explosive Discord. You can go and speak with Ansem Nipple. He's helped me out a lot with this. So if you've got any issues, you can message him, or send a message in the Discord asking how the raid scheduling works, and see if he can help you out with setting that up. That's all I've been doing. Anyway, let's move on. Right, so what we got here is we got some settings. So we've got, if I just bring this over a little bit so you can see, we've got time to arm, time to disarm, time to defuse, time to mount, and time to dismount. And these are all in seconds. So time to arm for me is 5 seconds, time to disarm is 5 seconds, etc., etc., going down. Again, I would probably recommend you adjust these times to whatever you think's best for your server, what you want players to, however long you want players to wait to do these things. But let's just scroll down. Right, and then this is for the homemade explosive. If we scroll down, we got ones for the military. So again, just these. Mine are all the same. You can make them different if you want to, but go ahead and adjust both values to your liking. Right. Again, we've got a timer for, so this is how long. Once the explosive is armed and placed, this is the countdown on how long it takes for the explosive to go boom. Now, this one is for homemade. Sorry, bubble in my throat. And this one down here is for military. I've got mine both the same. I've set it so it's 30 seconds, but you can make the minimum and maximum different. So you could put this to say 10, this to say 50, for example, and the player, they can choose then when they're setting the time for it, they can choose how long they want it to go off. Now, I don't like that. I just want it to be a set thing, so I've got both of mine the same. But go ahead and mess with these and change them to your liking. The military one, I made it a little bit quicker. It doesn't take as long. But yeah, right, let's scroll down. Now we get to we're on the wall class. And we've got two settings here. We've got this wall class setting down to there, and then we got a door class setting down to there. Now essentially these two settings are both the same, and you're gonna want to make sure you set these sort of both the same. So we've got a class damage multiplier here. This is like a global multiplier damage. This is going to set the multiplier damage for everything, if it's a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. And I've just kept mine on 1. You can put it to 0. You can put it onto whatever you want. And again, if we scroll down, do the same for the door settings. And again, there, and mine's 1. If we scroll back up, what I like to do, and what's probably best, is leave the global ones as 1, or you can put them to whatever, put them to 0 if you want, and then mess with the individual tier damage multiplier settings. So this one here is all tier 1 stuff. So explosive homemade, explosive military, we've got 12 and 20. go ahead and mess with these damages to your liking, and test to see how many explosive it takes to actually raid a certain object. And then we go down, we got tier 2. And then we go down again and we got tier 3. So just go ahead and mess with these number values. But make sure you scroll down and do the same, because you got 2 sets. You got one for the door. Do the sets for the ones underneath too. So you've got 2 settings that you'll have the same. Once you've messed with that and you've done everything there, just go ahead and save it. So file, save, you are pretty much done there. You do not need to do nothing else. But just do remember this line that I've highlighted. Change that to either, keep it to either like I've got, or remove the underscore doors. Right. Now we're going to close out that. I don't need it. No, don't save anything there. Right. Also, I'll provide another link. It'll be the bottom link. There is a GitHub page. You can go and check out some like examples and that. Not there. You can go in and look at some PPP example configs. There is some for more explosive too. Mod configurations. Just go ahead and have a general look at these settings. You can see some of the other example configs, what you can do. But one thing why I want to link this for is because of the types file. Let's go to the wiki page. So you've got class names. So these are all the class names. So you've got your item, homemade explosive, and then this is the class name for it. So you've got class names for the items there, and you'll see these are different to the breach and charge. So if you do remove breach and charge, it will get rid of all your items because they're different names. But if you scroll down a little bit more, we've got a crafting recipe, what it takes to craft. And then we've got a types template. So this is a types file. So you can add this to your types file. It's not that big, so got some items there. So you can add that to your types file. If you're someone that has a separate types file, I've done a video in the past how you create a separate types file. Go ahead and create a separate types file for that. Right, now that's all that show. Now we need to actually pack the file. So if we go back to your P drive, so you're in your folder, you got your config set up. What we need to now do is we now need to pack this. Before we pack this out, what you want to do is go to Steam, go to the more explosives workshop page, and just scroll down very slightly, and you got this description here. So, like I mentioned with the config, if you want to only allow raiding via like doors, you want to click on this second link here. So BPP you will either need, and then there's 2 mods here. If you click on this second one, BPP underscore vanilla underscore damage underscore doors, you're going to want to click on that, and you're going to want to subscribe to this mod. If you want to allow raiding via like everything, remember to change the part in the config.cpp file, but you want to click on this first mod, and you want to subscribe to this one. And you can see I'm not subscribed to it because I don't use this one. But make sure you subscribe to either one or the other of them, whichever one you, however you want to allow your raiding. Right, now we'll come back to all that in a minute. Now, if we scroll down a little bit, you've got some compatibility mods. So if you're using expansion, you're going to want to click on this compatibility mod link here and make sure you subscribe to this compatibility mod. If you're using, where we're looking, much stuff pack, again, click on the compatibility mod here and subscribe to this compatibility mod. For my server, I'm only using much stuff pack and this door mod, this door compatibility mod. But go ahead and make sure you download and subscribe to the ones that you're using. Right, now we're going to need to get the PBOs from either these mods that we subscribe to. So in my case, I've only subscribed to the vanilla damaged doors and the much stuff pack. The way I like to do this is I like to use the DZSA launcher. If you don't use this, if you don't join your DayZ via this and you use like the official launcher, I guess you can use the official launcher to do it. But I'm not sure how because I don't tend to use it. Alternatively, you can just go to wherever your mods download to, so like your workshop folder, I guess, and find the mod. But what you want to do is if you use DZSA launcher, go to the mods. In this filters box, you can search for their mods. So if I just search BPP, and I want to find the one that I subscribe to. So it's this one, BPP underscore vanilla underscore DMG underscore doors. And I want to click on the folder symbol. If I click on the folder symbol, it'll take me to the mod page. If I then click on add-ons, all I want, it'll take you to the add-ons. It'll take you to where you'll have a PBO and you'll have a buy sign. You do not need the buy sign, so don't copy that. All you want is the PBO. So if you right click on that, copy it and paste it somewhere that you know where it's going to be. So just paste it somewhere like your desktop for easy access for now. And that's all you need to do. But again, it doesn't have to go to your desktop. Just put it somewhere where you know where it is. Once you've done that, you want to close out of that. And then you want to do the same for either the expansion or the Much Stuff Pack. If you use both of them, you want to do it for both. For me, I only use Much Stuff Pack, so I would just search just Much. You don't need to type the thing in and search for the compatibility mod. And for my case, it's this top one. Again, I'd click on the folder and I'll go to add-ons and I'll just get the PBO from that. Copy it, put it on my desktop by the other PBO. Right. Now, if we close out of that, and again, I'm not going to show you expansion, but do the same for expansion if that's what you're using. Just make sure you get the PBOs. Once you've done that, let me minimize this. Now, I haven't got them on here, but say, let's just actually, I can show you an example quickly. Let me just load this back up. It'll just make it easier. Let's just search Much Stuff Pack. So let's just go into the folder. If you do this via your workshop folder way, make sure you find the mod and go into the add-ons folder and then get the PBO. So if I right click copy and then just paste that onto my desktop. So you'll have either one or three, between 1 and 3 PBOs at this stage now. What you essentially want to do then from your desktop, you can right click on that and you can copy it. Alternatively, you can probably just copy it straight to your add-ons folder in your mod folder from the DZSA, but I just like to do it this way. It's simpler. But if we can now go into your P drive, your project folder, no, not your project folder, sorry, your P drive, your mod folder, go to your add-ons folder, and again, this is I showed you how to do all this in the first link. Go to your add-ons folder, and then you want to paste that PBO, so you get this PBO, and you would put it inside your add-ons folder. Now, I've already got it here. If we scroll down, mine is there that I've highlighted. And then you do the same with the next one. So put all the PBOs that you've got into your add-ons folder. And then we need to sign these. Once you've done all that, we are now ready to use PBO project. So if we just close out of that, if we open up PBO project, now I've got the shortcut on my taskbar here. Now PBO project. So in the first link, I showed you how to set this up. There might be a couple of things I didn't show you. One is the mod output and the source output. So if you click on mod folder output and you want to find the location of your mod pack, so again it'd be P drive and then your mod pack folder, and then you'd click on select folder, and then you do the same for source folder. Click on source folder, and you want to locate your project folder. So again, your P drive and then your project folder, and then click on select folder. And you can see they're all linked here in the thing, like so. And then just make sure you got C full build ticked. I showed you this. If I just move the cursor out of the way, just make sure your PBO project, this first box, looks exactly like I've got, but of course your names here will be different. Right. Oh, whoops. Next thing you want to do is go into setup. And again, I've showed you this. I've showed you pretty much everything in here. The only thing I didn't explain in the tutorial for this is on the engine part up here. Click on this drop down arrow and make sure you click Daisy SA. I forgot what it's on by default, but make sure it's on Daisy SA, just like I've got there. Right. Now, again, this should automatically fill in when you do the source and that. I showed you how to do all this. I showed you how to do all this, but quickly just make sure that yours looks like mine. And you're ready to go. Once you've done all that, press OK. Right, now you're ready to pack the PBOs. What you're going to need to do is you go to Crunch. So I can click Crunch, it's fine. I've not made any changes, but I can click it. And as long as you've not deleted anything that you shouldn't have done, got rid of any commas or brackets, your PBO will pack just fine. So as long as you only adjust the time values in the config that I provide you, and you only adjust delete that BPP underscore vanilla underscore DMG part. As long as you don't delete anything you shouldn't do, you will have no errors in your config and it'll pack just fine. Once it's packed just fine, you can close this box and it'll close the black box. Then you want to load up Daisy Tools, like so. I've already got it on my other monitor. And you want to go to DS Utils. Go to that. Now again, in the first link where I showed you how to set a mod folder, I also showed you how to get a key and how you create a key and everything. But what you need to do is if you click on Add Source Directory, locate your P drive, locate your mod folder and locate the add-ons folder. So click on them and then press OK. It will come up with all the PBOs that you've got in your add-ons folder. And at this stage, for you, I've got quite a few because I've got quite a few things in mind. But for you at this stage, you'll have between 1 or 3 PBOs. So you'll either have the vanilla damage doors PBO or vanilla damage PBO, depending which PBO you get from the workshop folder that I showed you. You will have either the more explosive MSP compatibility PBO, if you use more explosives. Not more explosive. Yeah, it is more explosive. So you have the compatibility for that. You will also have your PBO that you have just created. So your PBO, so your config file, when you use PBO project to pack your config, it will generate a PBO and it will call it the name of whatever your folder is. So you can see here, mine's called Much Explosive PBO. And if we go back to my P drive, my project folder, you see mine's called Much Explosive. So whatever you call this name, it'll be whatever this is going to be called there. And you may have one for, if you use expansion, you may have the expansion compatibility PBO as well. So I think I said between 1 and 3 PBOs, you can have between 1 and 4 PBOs, sorry. Right, once you've done that, make sure these 2 boxes here are ticked, sign file list and override signatures. And you're good to go. This private key should already be set up from when you've done it in the first link in the video. And you just click process files. So if I just click process files and click yes. Oh, for some reason, oh, there we go, it closed it. Why is it closing it? You can see it, 12 files successfully signed. That's because I got 12 files there. For you, you'll have, like I said, between 1 and 4. So say you had 4 PBOs, it should say, as long as you made no errors, 4 files successfully signed or 2 files successfully signed, depending on how many PBOs you put in. Once that's all done, you can close out of that. And if we go back to your P drive, you click on your mod folder, go to add-ons, all your PBOs will have by signs. They'll all be signed. So do make sure, that they all are signed. Mine are. Right. Now what you need to do is we're going to need to upload this to the workshop. So if you click Publisher, which is in Daisy Tools, let me bring that over. Right, what you can do is you can put a name of whatever your mod. You can do it the same as your mod pack. So I've called mine the same as my mod pack. You can just put it to whatever you want the mod pack to be called on the workshop page. So go ahead and put a name there. Make sure, put visibility as public. Item type, put that as mod. I don't think you can change it for anything else. Sorry, bubble in my throat again. In mod content box here, click on the folder on the right and find your mod folder and then click select folder. You don't need to select any of the folders inside, just select your mod folder and press select folder. If everything is done correctly, it should say mod content structure seems to be valid, signatures all signed. You can put a description, and if you do updates later on, you can put change notes, but click I agree with Steam Workshop license and click update. Now I'm not going to click update. I don't need to update it because I've not changed nothing. I don't want my server to restart randomly for no changes. But click update, and another box will pop up where it's updating to the Steam Workshop page. It'll probably take, a few seconds or so. Let that do. Once that is done, you're ready to go. What you need to now do is make sure you load your mod, so this mod that you've just created, into your server. Make sure, now in my mod pack, so if we go to my P drive, if I go to my mod pack and go to keys folder, I haven't got a keys in my folder because I don't need it. It is only for my server. You can go ahead and put keys in your folder if you want to, but it is not needed. If you're doing this as a public mod, so other servers can use it, you're going to want to go ahead and put your key in your key folder. But even though I haven't got a key in my keys folder, I do need to make sure that I've got the key in my server. On my actual server, I've got a keys folder on that. I do need to make sure, and I have done. I put my key in my server in my keys folder. So go ahead and install your mod. If you haven't got the key there, do make sure that in your server's key folder, you've added your key. So exactly like you add any other mod, do exactly the same for your mod. Also, do make sure, if you go back to the Steam Workshop page, do make sure you subscribe to More Explosive, and you also add this mod to your server. So that's it. So the only two mods that you're going to need to add to your server is the actual More Explosive mod itself, and add it just like you would with any other mod, and the mod, your mod pack that you've just uploaded to the Steam Workshop page. Go and add that, and you're ready to go. Launch your server, and you're fine. And it just basically works just like Breach and Charge. You will need, like I said, you will probably need to go and get the types file. So from that GitHub link, have I still got it on here? Yep. Go ahead and get a types file. So if you want these spawning, go ahead and get this. It has actually got no values, so this has got like none spawning. So go ahead and make sure you adjust this to however many you want spawning. Add the types file to your server so stuff spawns. You may want to, if you've got a trader and you want these items to be in trader, you're going to want to go ahead and add these to the trader too. But you just add these to a trader like you would do with any other item. And of course, you got the class names here for the trader stuff. And that's it. Go ahead and test it. And see what you think. If there's any issues, if you're stuck at anywhere, again, on my YouTube, there is a Discord link. And also, if you want to do that script thing, like I mentioned at the start, where you want to allow the player to be stood further back, come and speak to me, and I can help you with any sort of issues you got. But if you got any sort of like config issues other than what I've gone through and explained, if you want to try and add something else or do something, if you notice anything on the GitHub page, my best bet is go and speak to Ansem Nipple. He's a great guy. He's helped me out a lot. Go and speak to him in his Discord, which again, I'll try and put the link in the description box for you. And he'll help you out with any other issues you may have. But yeah, I do want to give a big shout out to him because he's been superb. He's helped me out a lot. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Until next time, have fun and peace out.